Hello, everybody. Welcome to the All British Motocross Podcast from Dirt Hub with myself, Ben Rumbold, and Dirt Hub founder and owner Paul Ooten. Looking all good to go for Hawkstone Park this weekend, the first round of the British Championship. This is it. We've been building up to it there, Paul. And after the first GP of the weekend, we're now heading for the British Championship at Hawkstone Park again. As we say to everybody, all those who are missing their Hawkstone fix from the International, get down to the British instead. It's a fantastic event. And if you're hungry to get the season underway, then there's nothing better than the opening round of the British Motocross Championship. Got to mention, obviously, sponsored by Motul and so many other partners as well. So, been a long winter waiting for this one. And Paul, you good? You ready to go?
I'm always ready to go. I just want to say, but I've got to get it out there.
Okay.
The curse has been lifted. Argentina was dry. I'm not going to mention it ever again. All right? You've done it. You've exercised your demons. You're free from the weather gods. You are now fine.
I don't know. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. At one point I was called Ben Tomato Head. So that was fun. Got red as a beetroot with the sun. It's faded a bit, but not too much. It's a pretty intense sunlight, and amazingly a rain-free weekend. I haven't even thought about it till now, but it was. There was not a spot of rain at the track.
You can imagine how much it would have brought it up if it did had a rain, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, I'll bring the sun back with me to Hawkstone, so that'd be nice. We'll see. Hopefully, get a good day up there, and it'll be a really sweet way to start the series. But Hawkstone can take whatever weather, as we all know. But it'd be nice to have a good sunshiny day to kick off the season.
Yeah. So and this week's show is the MX1 preview show. We've done MX2, we've done the 125s. We're going to delve into MX1 today. We're a bit on the fly today because Ben is in Argentina, so times are a little bit sketchy, but we are going to try and get a couple of guests on. So the goal is that Tristan Purdon will be joining us and Stephen Clarke as well. Tristan Purdon, then quite a good one because wasn't sure he was going to race in the UK. Didn't look like he was. Not riding for the SC Sport Homes Husqvarna team, but then it came out last minute really that he's riding for the Lexa MX team, and then rocked up to Tain for a fantastic Scottish Motocross Championship round and won 2 out of the 3 motos and took the overall.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a solid rider. You don't forget that he's won. I think it's 6 or 7. He's won a significant amount of championships down in South Africa. So, you don't get to be a national champion in any sort of sport without being a bit good. And I think he can fly under the radar to this season. If he can stay off the ground, that's been an issue. And stay injury free, then I think he's got a potential for a really good season. And Lex, I think as Josh mentioned, they went for the Grand Prix and maybe bit off a bit more than they could chew. Paring it back a bit this year, and with Tristan on board, they've got a decent rider, I think.
Yeah, so like we said, it is the MX1 preview show, but we can't avoid the fact that we had our first MXGP at the weekend and the Scottish round as well. MXGP was a really, really good first round. I wouldn't say there was surprising. I think I don't know. I think the results were quite surprising, but there was lots of sort of subplots and twists with, people that we did have as favourites having a few different issues and different things. But, did you see Jeffrey Hurlins riding quite like he did, and the same with Tom Vial? Did that surprise you, Ben, or was?
I'll be honest, it did really surprise me. Yeah, I thought in the qualifying race, okay, even when he got the whole shot, I was like, okay, fair enough. Paul made him reminded us all in the Behind the Gate episode that he was a really good starter. Behind the Gate out now, by the way, MXGP TV. Quick plug for the work we've been putting in all weekend. He's he got the whole shot and hung on to it. And then I think the biggest surprise was that he passed Jeffrey during the GP race itself. That was the big shocker for me. I was like, wow, okay, Hurning's got the whole shot. He's never a brilliant whole shot guy, so he's not. In fact, Jorge Prado told us in interview that he is very happy when Jeffrey gets the whole shot because he can just pressure him and pressure him. And he knows that Jeffrey doesn't really enjoy that. So, it just takes serious speed to pressure the bullet, you know. But yeah, from that side, for him to pass Jeffrey was a surprise. But yeah, for Jeffrey to dig in and get that win, that's the bullet at his best. So I think if he's doing that in the first round with the Honda, if he stays healthy, everyone's got to be a little bit worried about the rest of the season. So for me, it was perfect because the battle of the ages, as we've all been hyping up over on MXGP, was in evidence. You know, you had the youth on Saturday with Vial, Coonan, and Adamo, the top three, and then on Sunday the podium. Okay, Vial got there, but the last the top three in the second race was Herding's Fair for Geiser. So the new guys against the old guys really is working as a message. And like you say, subplots all over. Lucas Coonan, I think, had some issues with his eyes on GP day, which has restricted him to fifth overall. But everyone's still very much in it. Kind of Wolf off was a bit of a blow. That would have been another sweet addition to the series. And we hope that he's good to go pretty soon. But thumb injuries, he might not be at his best until the fifth round, which comes after a big break.
Okay. Is there any news? Is he going to be riding round two? Is that?
There was very little news about him riding the first round until he appeared on his weird little wooden swing. Quite what that was all about was a weird announcement, getting motion sickness watching a rider tell us he's not riding. So I think they are playing it year by year. But if this is a similar injury to Fevre's in 2024, then this could be problems, because if he tries to ride, it's going to make it worse. And word is that he went to Lommel, did 2 laps, and said, no, not happening. So Lommel obviously is a bit more challenging than the Argentine track, but you should be able to do a decent speed at least, and especially to Wolf, who's a master of that going. So and obviously it's a big old journey to undertake for a similar story. It's not like he's popping around the corner. Down here, 34 hours of travel away. But either way, we just hope. I think it's just fingers crossed for him and a few others. I mean, Isaac Gifting wasn't here, and now my brain's just lost who was missing. But either way, it was a real shame. But fingers crossed we're getting back.
Can we have a year of announcements being made on kids' toys? So, like the next injury announcement or the next signing, can they do it on a space opera or something? Can you organise that? You've got connections.
I'll try and do these things. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. I can't imagine Jeffrey getting on a space opera if he has a
skateboard.
Skateboard.
I'm not fussy. I just just go through them. The most we're doing a Dirt Hub award for the most imaginative release on a kid's toy, like playing marbles, something like that.
Okay, moving swiftly on.
So the GP happened. So
sorry, I did quite mention MX2. It was a nice bounce back from Langenfeld as well to win that one. But if people didn't see the crash too clearly, there were issues with getting the replay back, and Sasha Coonan had a really unfortunate crash. There was nothing to do with him, no fault of his own whatsoever. Just completely landing on a jump, and a bike was down on the track from 2 riders colliding beforehand. So that could have been a lot worse. He did bang his knee, but I spoke to the team, and he's actually okay. He just had a slight dead leg, but the physio checked him, and he's walking around, and he was okay. So thankfully, Sasha Coonan isn't knocked out of the series. Should have a good championship if he can get better luck. And racing against Langenfelder, when it comes to the sand, Sasha might have the edge. So it'd be good if MX2 is close between those two.
Do you know what? I sort of love watching Sasha Coonan, but sort of do it with my hands over my eyes, because it just, it's just quite scary and sketchy, and on the edge, exactly that. But it's entertaining, and the dude is quick.
He's one of those, you can hear him. You can hear him coming. If I'm checking my phone and I hear a bike at full gas, I know it's Sasha. There's no doubt about it. Oh, there's Sasha, and you can look up and it's definitely him. It's just he turns the throttle to 11. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, not always pays off, but I think it might pay off more than it did, more than not this year. We'll see. Man, it's too early. It's still early.
Yeah, it's still very early. Here on home soil, then we had the Scottish Motocross Championship. A few British Championship riders got out and about the weekend as well. Josh Gilbert rode down at Little Silver at Swore. Louis Kessler was down there as well. I think Taylor Hamill rode at Severn Valley. The proper results haven't come through from Severn Valley. I was watching the live time and he was on that. And there was a few other British Championship riders riding there too. So yeah, a few people getting out and about ahead of Hawkstone this weekend. But the big one was the Scottish Championship. As we spoke about in MX1, then Moto 1 went the way of Ben Edwards. And I think he was fastest qualifier too. So Ben Edwards, who sort of came to the fore last year with a win. I think he was one of the only riders in the UK to beat Conrad last year. So Ben started off fantastically then with his new ride. So he's on the Absolute KTM racing team bike now. So Ben Edwards took Moto 1, then Tristan Purdon. I think Tristan had a bit of an incident in race 1. So the next two he came really good. So looking very good in MX1 then. So Tristan Purdon did take the overall, then ahead of Ben Edwards. Bobby Bruce, 3 solid rides there for him for 3rd overall. Ryan Thompson then, 3 good motos. He come 4th overall, ahead of Jason Mirror. Carlton Husband was next, then Charlie Irwin. MX2, Charlie Heyman was storming it, to be fair, was fast. Fast in the mix of obviously with the MX1 bikes as well there. So he was second in the first moto in the whole race. Then Josh Fell was second in that one in his class. I'm just looking through who was in the class, trying to see who was who. There was a few issues then. John Adamson had an issue in race 1. I think he went down on the first bend. Then Joel Rizzi was in there as well. But yes, it was Josh Fell, and I think Jamie Keith then was. So it was Charlie Heyman, Josh Fell, Jamie Keith in the first moto. Second moto, Charlie Heyman went down and did a big, worked really hard to get up into the points and get where he did. Some really good lap times. Coming through traffic, his lap times are really impressive as well. But the race win did go to Josh Vale, so good confidence boost to Josh. Second place was John Adamson. Joel Rizzi was 3rd. Glenn McCormack was next up then, and then it was Charlie Heyman. But Charlie was really, really pushing on, so he wasn't far off it. And then Charlie Heyman would take the MX2 win in the last moto ahead of Joel Rizzi. Joel Rizzi was there. It looked like Joel was matching him on lap times then. And it says on Joel's social that he shows what he can do in the last race. So I think there was, a few, sorting things out with his new ride then. But certainly showed good speed. Then John Adamson was again the next 3rd. Josh Vale was 4th. So in the overall, it was Heyman, Vale, and Rizzi. Some positive signs there from quite a few riders, but Charlie Heyman looking very, very good there in MX2.
Yeah, and what intrigued me and I thought was maybe a little bit out of character, or I mean, we don't really know these riders as well as we and all of that, but yeah, Charlie commenting on our predictions, saying, "Come on, Paul, give me more than that." So I thought that was really cool. So that's something that I wouldn't expect from Charlie, but I think that's a sign that he's really feeling good. So yeah, he might shock us all this weekend. But yeah, it'll be very entertaining.
Do you know what I love? If I've sparked something there, I'd be more than happy, because I really do want to see Charlie have a good year. He is so good.
Yeah.
And I do, as we said on the podcast, I do think Charlie is a championship contender, because I think he will be there every single round. And I think he really did build up. His speed really come on. So if there's that, in terms of technique and speed and smoothness, he has got all of that. If there's a little bit of a a nudge, a little bit, like we said with Musto, maybe Brooks, that little bit of a chip there. If Charlie has that, that is, I think, his final ingredient, to be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that could be it. If he can just, what, if it means he wins a championship, I'll put him outside the top 5 in my predictions every week, because I would love to see a young British rider win it. So maybe that is what it needs. But I definitely put Charlie Heyman as a championship contender. He's going to take some stopping in Scotland, as he has done the last couple of years. But yeah, for sure, Charlie. But Josh Fail, fair play to Josh. Some good rides there from him. Joel, like we said, come better as it went along. John Adamson, after that first race issue, came good as well. So some good signs. Jamie Keefe, his first moto was good. Didn't quite happen. Not sure what quite happened in the other motos, but yeah, some really good signs there that we're going to see. But the excitement is seeing them all together this weekend, because there is a lot of riders. We just said we put the entry list out a second ago, and the numbers are good. So the numbers are, we've got 63 in MX2, with 32 in the under 21 championship. So over half are in the under 21 range, which is amazing. 50 riders in the 125s and 39 in MX1.
Yeah, that's busy. That's really busy. I like the sound of that. So yeah, that's fantastic. Just give a shout out as well to Chad Yarenson, who messaged me after the last podcast. Thanks for tuning in there, Chad. And that's to point out that it's the 772 Ride Kawasaki team that Joel Rizzi and Charlie Cole are on this year. So yeah, Ride partnering the series as well. So yeah, Chad obviously just pointing out there that we missed that. I do apologise to Chad and all that team, because yeah, I just know Craig Chamberlain so well. So yeah, I almost also have to refer to him. So yeah, from that side of it, yeah, 772 Ride Kawasaki. They'll be happy that Joel's put in a good result, and yeah, they go to Hawkstone, where we know he goes well, and yeah, it's all possible for him to deliver a good performance there. So yeah, with Charlie, I kind of get the feeling like he could win a few races just going away this year. I think he's got the ability to just clear off on pace, and no one could get near him. But yeah, the question mark then comes: can he bang the elbows and get stuck in? That's always a bit of question mark over Charlie. But we'll see. He's been around long enough now. He should be able to get stuck in like that. And yeah, the championship's on the line. We might well see it come out of him, which is great.
But do you know what? On the other side of the coin, sometimes it's a good thing not to bang bars.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I mean,
If everyone's taking chunks out of each other, and you're just steadily getting points, do you know what I mean? Sometimes just keeping out the way of it is not a bad thing.
yeah. I mean, there is something to be said. I think the Supercross guys touch on it quite a lot. Is that something to be said for not making enemies and not having that come back to bite you in future races? So yeah, I don't think he's in that department at all. But yeah, like I say, it's it's fantastic. It's another fantastic reason to be at Hawkstone Park. It's just going to be very, very interesting in that class. MX2 is tough to call this year.
Yeah, we've got call MX1 in a minute, and I haven't actually done it yet, because I sort of wanted to talk through a little bit to get it in my head. I've got a funny feeling our top 5s are going to be the same 5 riders, though. I'd be very surprised if they're
Really?
not.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thinking about it, yeah, okay, fair enough.
I'm feeling the pressure more
I
this
might,
year, to be honest.
I might be intentionally different. We'll see,
That would
we'll
be
see.
brave,
But yeah,
to be honest. That would be very brave.
yeah. I mean, it's stacked, isn't it? I mean, it's great to see that we now have the possibility to answer that question: who is the best British rider at the moment? Obviously, let's put Max Anstey on a slightly different pedestal. We've got somebody out there that's winning 250 Supercross races, but he is well into his 30s, and it's we've seen the best of him for sure. He's never going to be back on the world stage, and I think he's just happy collecting money in the 250 class. I think when he moves to 450, he might even retire. So Max Anstey just to one side on this conversation, but yeah, for sure, Ben Watson and Conrad Muse. Ben has for the last few years been our only MXGP rider consistently, and then yeah, but Conrad has cleaned up on the domestic scene. So they've both got great speed. Conrad is used to winning. Ben really is not now. So, is that going to be a factor as well that, one is going to be much more used to running at the front of the British than the other. One's defending his patch, one's coming in with a British team, a new ride for him, but still keen to show all his pace. And even Tommy Searle was very impressed with his speed when he went practicing in his vlog. So yeah, this is going to be the big question in MX1. And in fairness, with the international being cancelled, we still have no idea. It's going to be very entertaining that first practice session in the morning. Who's going to pull out the fast lap times? I think Conrad is going to pull out the fast lap times. I think that's an obvious answer to that question. But then what's going to happen in the races as well? So yeah, that's for me, especially we're talking MX1 in this episode, and this is definitely something that is the big question mark over this. And then we've got Adam Sterry and Josh Gilbert all keen to get stuck in. Oriol Oliver is the big question mark as well. After his first GP on the 450, what's he going to do in the British? That's another big factor that we still haven't yet. We still don't know. He could be head and shoulders above the Brits. We never know. But it's fascinating. And this is why we go racing.
I think Oriol Oliver is the could be the big thorn in everyone's side because GP wise, how did he look to you? Because he's got a lot already. He's got races like high pace races under his belt, and that must make a difference because Conrad and Ben has had gate drops. Conrad hasn't. So yeah, Oriol has been riding at a high pace. He's been doing a lot already, and I think that is going to really be a telling point, to be honest. I could see Oriol being very, very quick this weekend. He's a definite title contender in my eyes. My only worry with him is if he's doing the full GP season or the majority of the GP season, that is a big undertaking, isn't it? To do that and the British, to do every round of the British. We know, obviously, we've seen Jeffrey pop in and out, but to do every round of the British and the GPs, that's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it did surprise me when Jeffrey was going for the 24 world title that he still kept on to chase the British one. But, I guess the colour of money tastes good. But yeah, from that side, I mean, Oriol, 15th in the GP, going 14, 16 in the races. He was ahead of Jan Panzer and a very underwhelming Jeremy Seewer. So, that's not groundbreaking, but he's in amongst some serious talent there. Mattia Guadagnini was just ahead of him, or so just behind him in the first race. So and then there's all sorts of carnage in the mid pack as well in MXGP. So yeah, Oriol is similar, I would say, to where Ben Watson was in the GPs. So that's something that is interesting to watch for. But yeah, from there, Oriol's going to be one to watch, and it's going to be a cracking one. Okay, so yeah, talking about MX1 contenders, great to have Tristan Purden join us, Lexa MX Honda for this season, for the former multi-time South African champion. I always forget how many times you've actually won titles down there, Tristan. But welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thanks for having me, and looking forward to the season.
Nice one, and I mean, rocking straight into it there. I mean, a nice result there at the weekend up in Scotland, so that's got to be a real nice boost in confidence for you.
Yeah, no, it was. It's good to start off with a win, and that I know, like, we didn't have Conrad or some of the other top boys there, but still, a win's a win, and you'll take it. And especially Tain, it is quite a savage track, so keeps you on your toes, and it's good training for Hawkstone for this weekend.
Yeah, and are we talking like? I mean, it is like it's almost like Sardinia level sand, isn't it? It's quite. It looks bottomless on the photos. I mean, I've been there, but yeah, it looks like it's. Should we say maybe even heavier than Hawkstone?
Yeah, because even when Bobby Bruce came to me for the last moto and said this is the roughest track in the UK, he was saying so. It's, even if he's saying that, and he's been around a few Grand Prix tracks, so it's pretty rough.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's cool. So nice prep for you. So how good was that to feel? Because it was a bit of a late notice for you joining the Lexa MX team. I know when I messaged you, I don't know, it wasn't that long ago, to say, are you coming to the UK? You weren't sure at all. So yeah, how did the Lexa sort of deal come about?
It was quite. We had it. I was signed with them quite soon. We just kept it quiet for a while, and then we were still organizing sponsorships and all that before we could do like the press release and that. But when SE let go of me, it was just like we had a fine team, and Lexa came on board, and I think it's been really good at the moment. So, and I'm enjoying the bike. And Stuart's come from Dixon, come across to help the team, and that. So it's been really good so far.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And you seem to have a real synergy because how many years have you been in the UK now?
This will be my 4th season now.
Okay. Yeah, so no, so you've been over here 4 years. What is it about
Yeah.
the UK that you like? Because I know you were really keen to come back this year.
It's just the racing is a lot better in the UK than back home in South Africa. And back home, you're racing the same guys every weekend. Like there was only 8 guys on the line in MX1 a few weeks ago in South Africa. So the competition's stiffer, and I can still make money racing here and live the dream. So that's why I'm over here.
Nice one. So you got like the 8 rounds of the British Championship. Obviously, there's no Michelin MX Nationals anymore. So, what else is on your sort of radar for 2026? Obviously, I think you've had a bit of a go at America. You've done some GPs as well in the past there. So, yeah, what is the plan if there is one for this season?
This year, I think we'll just focus on the Scottish Championship, the British Championship. But at the moment, I've got a visa to get into Europe, so anything's possible. And even America, because Stuart's good mates with Quadlock Honda, so he was ready putting the feelers out there, ready to maybe get a bike there. And so, but it all comes down to results. If the results are not there, there's no point trying to go over and waste people's time. So if we start the year off strong, you never know. Could do a few Grand Prix, a few AMAs. So yeah, I'm up for anything. So we'll see how it goes.
So you say up for anything if Joey Savacci's knee problem is more severe and you get the call for the Supercross, you're straight there, yeah?
No, not for the Supercross. I'll save myself for that.
Yeah, that
Cool.
is intense there. So yeah.
So yeah, Hawkstone this weekend. The MX1 class is ran this year more so than before. Have you sort of looked down the entry list and sort of studied it, or you're just going in thinking, I'm on good form, I can take care of this?
I was just actually looking at it now. It is quite stacked this year, and there's a lot more guys in the top 10. Like I think to finish in the top 10, you'll be happy this year. But if I can get out the gate and be up with the boys, anything's possible. So I'm looking forward to it. I do like Hawkstone. It's also like a tough track, and it's hard to get a flow. So you just have to dig deep around there.
Yeah, like you said, it is stacked, it is deep all the way through. You've been there or thereabouts, but over a year as well, you've had some good results consistently. Do you think that, spreading over a year, racking up the points, with a few injuries here and there, do you think you could be a podium contender come the championship?
Oh, that is the goal. So I showed it last year. I had the speed and just a few injuries and bad luck, but the goal is always to win. And if there's an opportunity there, you're going to take it. So I know it's not going to be easy this year, but we always line up to go for the win.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously before we brought you onto the podcast here that we were talking about, you got the addition of Ben Watson coming in. I mean, where do you see this kind of? I think everyone's sort of thinking maybe the top three is going to be, Ben, Conrad, Oriol. I mean, quite a unique mix of characters there. I mean, where do you see that sort of battle going? Who would you say is your favorite if you pitch those three onto the track together?
I'm not sure. It's just it depends on the start because these tracks are quite hard to pass and that. So wherever you start, I think it's very important. So starts are important.
Yeah, nice one. I mean, you've got obviously a whole stack there, like you say, sort of top 10 sort of contenders. And yeah, so I mean, is it something that you like? You mentioned the starts quite a lot here. So is that something that you're really intently sort of practicing on, training on? Where do you see yourself on the start side of it at the moment?
At the moment, I'm just I don't not thinking about it too much. I'm just trying to focus on myself, focus on just enjoying it and trying to get good results. So the goal is, like you said, there's always to win, but I'll be happy with the top 5 come if we leave Hawkstone. and finish Moto 2. Like last year, we didn't finish Moto 2, so that's the goal.
No, it's cool. And 8 rounds of the championship, studying the tracks and stuff like that. Is there a favoured track that you're looking forward to going to?
Yeah, I've ridden all the tracks now, so I know all of them. So I do. My favourite one would be Preston and Blacksaw. I do really enjoy those ones.
Yeah, and there's some different like Monster Mountains on there, but you did you do the Monster Mountain Cup? I think you did last year, didn't you?
2 years ago, I think I did
2
it.
years ago. Okay. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that one being added to the calendar?
I like Monster Mountain. It's a very faster kind of track, more not European, American style. So I remember when we went for that one, I qualified first. So hopefully I can do that again when we go there for the British. So I do enjoy Monster Mountain as well.
Yeah, that would be a good one there. I mean, just to touch on things there, I mean, obviously, with your South African experience, that's very much on the hardpack side of it, but you seem to excel in the sand as well. But talking about hardpack circuit, GP being at Fox Hills, what's your thoughts about that? And are we going to see you in the lineup?
Well, it would be cool. We'll see what happens. But Fox Hills is a unique track, and it would be cool to do it because it's quite a cool track to do. So, and the hard packs. So hopefully it doesn't rain because then we'll all be screwed there. But but no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're trying to put the rain behind us on that side of it.
Yeah, don't mention it. It's a bad subject.
Everywhere. We don't talk about the rain. Yeah, for sure. I mean, have you? Let's say you grew up on the sort of South African hard pack circuits. Have you trained a lot though in the sand? Is that now almost becoming second nature to you? Because you seem to favour both. Is there still a favourite for you, or second nature good enough on hard pack? Where are you on that?
Well, everyone thinks that South Africa is hard pack, but no, we do have some sand tracks. And where we lived, there was a sand track 3 hours away. So I did spend most of my time on a sand track. So I do prefer the sand. Like last year, I was told I was not the best on hardpack and I had to prove them wrong. And then we went to Landrake and I did quite well in the first mode. And then the second one, we tucked the front and that was my year ended. But yeah, I do prefer the sand.
Yeah, no, the Landrake crash came at the wrong time, like I said, because you were just hitting in some good form then, weren't you, when that happened?
Yeah, it was just like I was even, because Hawkstone, I hurt my knee and then I was just slowly building. And then that crash came and but things happen for a reason and we just have to keep pushing.
Yeah, one of the things I think was a big blow though was the fact that you missed the Motocross of Nations because you were already named in the South Africa squad there. How great is it to ride for South Africa, but also how much was that a blow that you missed that?
Yeah, no, it's always cool to represent your country and that, especially at the Nations, but also like Ironman, we had bikes and everything that side already with doing some of the AMA, so it was like everything was ready to go, and it's just a bummer that we missed it. But hopefully we can do Erne this year, and because that one's also quite a special one, that track, and that. So hopefully it all works out and we can be on the team again.
Yeah, Erne always an amazing atmosphere there. So yeah, very very much looking forward to that one. Just before you go there, Tristan, because we are tight on the time here from that side. So yeah, I mean, the new British Championship, you got enough experience of it last year. So yeah, how is it for you now? This new sort of format. Do you feel like it's a better environment for the Sunday, or is you prefer a fuller weekend like it used to be?
Well, I think it's really good. I do enjoy the new format, and Paul's doing a good job running the show, and it's a good championship to be a part of. So yeah, it is really good.
Nice one. Okay, I hope the connection is good enough there for us to get that through. So all good. So any last of the sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
I just thank Lexa, Chris for giving me the opportunity, Stuart, and then all my private sponsors, Dice Carrier, Side Group, and my trainer, Step One. He's been a big part of my program, getting my leg back to where I am at the moment. So yeah, and everyone else that's supporting me, my family back home, and yeah, just looking forward to get the year rolling and get some good results under my belt.
Fantastic. One more from Paul.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with the live stream, it must give a good chance for the folks and everyone back home to watch you. Do you find that people have been tuning in and watching you?
Yeah, no, they have. I have a WhatsApp group that I keep everyone posted, and I send the links. And a lot of people do watch on a Sunday, watch the racing, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great stuff. All right, well, yeah, we hope you give them something to cheer on this weekend. So,
No,
yeah,
for sure.
great news that they're all tuning in there. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Thanks for joining us, Tristan. And
Cool.
yeah, I'll see you on Sunday. And yeah, have a good one.
Cool. Thanks, guys. See you.
Cheers. Oh, great stuff. Thanks for Tristan there. Thanks to Tristan for joining us. Brilliant to have him talk to us there quickly. And yeah, we know that he's been a bit under the weather, so hopefully he'll pull through to be able to deliver at Hawkstone Park. So now to a rider who's well, should we say, starting a revolution, going on there with the Stark Future Machine. Let's talk to well, Paul's going to talk to our second guest here for the MX1 preview, Mr. Stephen Clarke.
So I am joined by Stephen Clarke. I think probably the busiest person in and out of motocross at the moment. I reckon you should be riding like two or three classes. I reckon you could do the lot. MX1, MX2, 125. Be a doddle for you at the moment.
Well, you're going to laugh because I am racing the Bridgestone on a 125 and MX1 at the British. So get me another championship to ride MX2 somewhere and I'm in.
It's cool. I know it's quite a long way, but the Scottish is pretty good. Getting that one. Northern 92 Cup is another good one.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to look into it.
AMCA, let's get you in all of them, to be fair.
I'm not allowed in the AMCA. You have to have like 2 years of not scoring points in a British to be able to do AMCA. Because I did flirt with the idea last year or the year before, because I wanted to have a go on my 500s somewhere that, because in ACU you're not allowed to ride a 500 two-stroke in MX1 because it's technically it's too big apparently. So I looked at doing AMCA and they wouldn't let me do it because not the championship because I wasn't because I've had points in the British. So
interesting.
But anyway,
I didn't actually know that. There you go. That's something I didn't know. Okay, we'll scrap that one. You got the other four anyway, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, plenty to do.
Cool. And obviously the big news, not that big news because you've been an early convert to electric anyway over the last couple of years with an arena cross. But the big news is that the British Championship have allowed a Stark team, so basically two riders, yourself and Louis Brooks, to ride in MX1 of the British Championship. As Paul Irwin said, it's like a tentative step into allowing electric into the championship. And obviously, you were the first name down.
Yeah, man, I jumped at the chance. Like you said, I'm so busy, and I actually retired from professional. Well, I'd made the decision to retire from professional racing at the end of last year, and then I got a call from Stark from St. Blasey, and he said, "Look, we want to go racing next year on the Starks. The British are going to allow it. Would you be interested?" And I literally jumped at the chance, so I unretired straight away, and jumped at the chance to go and have a go on it, man. I'm a big believer on the Starks. I think it's the best bike I've ever ridden, and I've ridden some factory bikes over the years, so it is a very, very good bike. Anyone I've ever spoke to that's rode one, I don't think so far I've not heard anyone that doesn't like them. Recently, Mark Morris, I talked to him at Arena Cross Belfast and asked him if he'd ever rode one, and he said no. And I told him, get yourself on one. He's bought one the other day. He's tagged me in it on Instagram, and he's saying how much he loves it. They're just a very versatile bike for anyone of any caliber. You know, the fact that you can tune it up and down, whatever you want, you can modify it a lot, I think makes it great for any rider, and especially beginners, novice, and intermediate. I think it's a no-brainer for me. The next step is them getting the battery to last like a full race, which is where we're coming in this year to do a lot of testing and give them a lot of feedback on the different terrains, different tracks, different weather conditions, because obviously they do a lot of their testing in Spain. They have ventured out to do other motocross tracks. I know they've been to Lommel, and someone's done motos around Lommel trying to see how it goes. But as you know, Hawkstone, round one, with that big uphill, I think that's going to be the good test for the bike. So if we can make it round Hawkstone, I think we're pretty good for everywhere.
Yeah, so yourself, you've been testing it. how have you found it over the longer motos?
It's track dependent. It's tougher on like deeper tracks. Like obviously with the sand, it does suck a lot more power. So I've had to kind of adjust my riding a little bit through the motos. So instead of being really aggressive, I've got to be more off the brakes, flowy, smooth. Which, you know what, isn't a bad thing, I think, round Hawkstone. You can't be too aggressive around a track like that, otherwise you'll end up in the fence. But yeah, no, it's been good. I went out last week to Spain, did some mapping testing and tested some different foot peg heights, lengths, and all sorts of stuff with Stark. Did a tour of the factory, which, I mean, I'm not allowed to talk about anything that's in there other than the fact that it is the most impressive thing I have ever seen in my life. It is crazy what they've got going on in there, and they're the real deal, man. They really are.
Yeah, so this is just a real precursor. As Paul Irwin said to me, this is a 1-year test to see, to work very closely with Stark. So I think from what I gather, you need a slightly bigger pit area, and Paul's going to be working with the team on lots of things that, like legislation and all the ACU sort of stuff, which I don't really get. And I'm sure many of us don't, but obviously they need to adhere to all this stuff. So you've got that sort of going on. So there's lots going on to ensure it works this year with a goal to possibly roll it out, because the Scottish Championship have basically said Startvargs are basically allowed in the MX1 class full stop, I think, as far as I know. So maybe not quite as strict there in Scotland, but what different sort of things have you learned that need to be looked out for from yourself as a rider going into this weekend?
I mean, it's the same. So Tommy had a bit of an incident at one of the arena crosses a couple of years ago of a rider coming down the inside of him. He couldn't hear him. I think that is the only concern I've got, is if I'm coming down the inside of someone late braking and they don't hear me and they come across, that is the only area that I think there's any kind of concern from my side of things. Other than that, it's just a win-win-win all round for me. The fact that another rider can't hear me, I had it. So last year in Arena Cross, I had a bit of a battle with Jake Preston, and I went round the outside of him and slingshot and just flew past him through the whoops, and he didn't hear me. He didn't hear me coming. He didn't see me because I must have been just in the right spot where he didn't see me, and I just slingshotted past him. So there is advantages to it, but I think the fact that the other riders can't hear you is, that's like the only concern I've got. I know the ACU have been very thorough on their tests because of the battery, and there was a concern about charging and the generators that we're using and things like that. But I mean, if they're not going to let us use the generators, I know people that have got 7 kilowatt generators in their campers, you know what I mean? And especially those big Arctics that come, those things have got massive diesel generators that produce stupid amounts of power. So it's like, where do you draw the line on that kind of thing? The other one would be if they could just put mains power for us to charge at. Problem solved, isn't it? It's all got fuses, it's all got breakers. Shouldn't really be a problem then. But yeah, other than that, no concerns my side of things.
Yeah, I bet it's quite cool being a bit of a groundbreaker though, because this is certainly history. It gets such a mixed reaction, like whenever we post anything about it on social media, from generally from fans, not from riders, but fans sort of don't like it and stuff like that. What has been the reaction been like from other riders to it, to you sort of riding it? Have you had any negative or positive vibes from people?
Anyone that's rode one has got nothing but positive things to say about it. Anyone that hasn't rode one calls it a cheater bike because they are ridiculously fast off the bottom end. Obviously, we've got no gears, so we've got 60 horsepower at the twist of a throttle, whereas a 450 might have 63 horsepower. That's in fifth gear flat out. I mean, you name me a track in England where you get to fifth gear flat out. So there is an advantage on the power side of things. So Dean Wilson always says, he's like, oh, you're on the Bumblebee cheater bike, he calls it. But other than that, no, yeah, it is a very mixed reaction from fans and stuff. But again, if they've never rode it, they're not going to like it because it's not a two-stroke. How long did it take for people to get on board with four strokes? You know, I was around for that era. I watched it happen, and everybody slated four strokes forever. Like, it was years before people accepted four strokes for here. And then once they realised how much better they were, everybody got on board, and it just kind of trickled out then to the fans and everything. Whereas, you know, I mean, we're motocrossers. We're all two-stroke lovers. I would much rather sit there and listen to a two-stroke rev up than a four-stroke. But we know that four strokes are faster and they're better. They handle better. They've got more torque. And when people realise the benefits of electric, so my big, I'm going to sound like a tree hugger here, but the fact that we can ride them anywhere. I've got 5 acre field at home in between a dog kennel, like a working dog kennel, a horse menage, and a dog walking woods. Those are the 3 sides to my field. The other side's my house. I used to ride a 250 there, but then when the horse barn went up, I can't really ride a 4-stroke. It's just too much. They're loud. I can ride my stock there every day, right? So practicing opportunities for me have gone up. If we had an all-electric championship, so say Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, everybody bought electric bikes out, there could be an electric championship that you could have at Hyde Park in London and no one could really say anything because there's no noise, no emissions. If there was power to charge, there'd be no generators. You know, obviously, Hyde Park's probably out of the equation. But you get what I'm saying, don't you? It opens up a whole another avenue for motocross, and it's a dying sport, you know? Like, unfortunately, in England, motocross is struggling. We've got no tracks. We've got nowhere to practice. Race meetings are getting harder and harder to run because they're getting less and less days a year. And I just think people need to stop being blind to the fact that at the end of the day, we're riding motocross bikes. You know, yeah, it's electric, but it's a motocross bike. And I ride motocross because I love riding motocross on a track. Not because it's a 2-stroke or it's a Yamaha or it's a Honda. Like, I just want to ride my bike. When you're on the track, you don't know what colour it is or what bike you're riding. You're just flowing on the track. And I just think, sorry for the rant, but I just think people need to stop being so pig-headed about it and just invite it in and help it grow the sport. You know, it might bring in other manufacturers to bring theirs out, you know, and I guarantee the people that are moaning about the Stark, when Honda bring theirs out, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's a Honda, I want one of them, you know. And I think people will be eating their words when it catches up.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, so I started the Revy Cup, so I know full well how many barriers it's broken down. So one of the events that we run was in Portland, and it's overlooked by houses. In a town, you can walk to the pubs, you can walk to the supermarkets, is right there, overlooked by houses. They have more complaints from a football tournament than they do from our events. Exactly. And that just says we have no complaints. There are no complaints whatsoever. People don't even really know we're there. But, you know, so it definitely has broken down barriers in terms of land and places where you can race, exactly what you said. But it's certainly breaking down barriers of accessibility of people being able to get into it. Yep. Because they can ride anywhere. They can ride at a little local field, and the kids going around on a Revy or a little KTM or whatever it may be, RFN, you know, they can ride round and no one even knows they're there. No, you know, if you were on a little 2-stroke 50, people are moaning like hell, but kid goes around on a Revy and no one says a thing, you know. So it's definitely opening doors in that respect for sure. So, and again, you know, I come from the same place to you. I love 2-strokes, you know, all sorts of motorbikes in all sorts of shapes and forms, which is, you know, what Dirt Hub is. We cover everything. But, you know, we have to sort of open our eyes to the way the world is. And the world is evolving and changing, and our sport has to evolve and change with it. And that's not getting rid of the past, but, you know, it's sort of trying to merge and embrace the future so that we can incorporate all of it, I think.
It goes to the same with like Teslas. I I didn't like Teslas when they first came out. I'm like, why would you want an electric car? And it wasn't until I got in one and drove it and realised I've got one now. I wouldn't buy another car unless something comes out that's better. Honestly, it's incredible the things you can do on it. Just how you can just make the car your car, like with all the different settings and everything, and you log in with your phone, like it's just brilliant. Same as the Stark, I can set 5 different maps on the home screen, and there's like hundreds of different ways you can configure it. If I wanted to feel like I'm riding a 2-stroke one day, I can whack it down to 32 horsepower and put 0 engine brake in, and I'm on a 2-stroke. I want it to feel like I'm riding a big 450. I can whack it up to 60 horsepower, 50, 60 engine brake. I feel like I'm on a 4-stroke with the power. So it's like, on that aspect of it, like with the Revis, they've got the modes and kids can flick between them, and it's wicked. I like I said, I'm a firm believer, and I will be till the end.
Cool. Well, you got 8 rounds coming up.
Yeah.
Looking at the track lists, what tracks do you think, we're going to be good around there?
Landrake. I'm a hard pack rider anyway. And when it's a hard pack track like that, our battery is going to last better. It will stay cooler, so it will last a bit longer. So that's one we're aiming for. So the first 2 we're going to get through and just this is going to be a big test for us because no one's done it in a race environment, and it is different to someone going and doing just a 30-minute moto practicing around Lommel. It is different when you're in a race scenario because there's going to be times where I want to try and manage the power, but then I'm in a battle with somebody, so I'm going to give it more and I'm going to over rev a little bit. So the first 2 at Hawkstone and Preston are going to be a big test for us. But we're very confident going into Landrake with me and Louis. We're both better on the hard pack tracks. I've had some good success at Landrake in the past anyway, and the bike is really going to come into its own in that sticky dirt at Landrake because anyone will tell you who's rode one that on a sticky clay track, it's like you're on Velcro with this Stark. It is crazy.
Nice.
So, Landrake, Blacksall again. It's quite hard. I know it's sandy, but it's quite hard, isn't it? It's quite tight. So we're pretty confident that Blacksall is going to be a good one. And my field at home is like, if you could replicate Blacksall Pit's dirt, that's what I've got at home. So it's that's a good one for me. Well, I don't even know what the last 2 are. That was as far as I've looked through the calendar. Go on, have you got the eight rounds on there? Read them out.
Oh, so you got Duns on there. You got Ling on there.
Duns will be another good one. Again, it's very flowy track. So with the Starks, the stop-start and like the full flat out that's the harder parts, I think, on the bike. So when you can flow and keep your momentum going, our batteries that's the optimum for us. So Duns is another good one.
Yeah, you got Monster Mountain.
Another one. Yeah. So last year, I think last year or the year before, Jack Brunel raced Monster Mountain on his Stark for one of those evening meetings we did, and he lasted the 30-minute motor around there. So now with the new and improved battery, we should be fine.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting to see. And results-wise, I suppose it's quite difficult to put any expectations on that because you're just, learning and stuff like that. Is it like a full proper factory team coming over for this?
So in the past, Stark Factory have done everything themselves. They've travelled everywhere with the factory mechanics, the factory bikes, everything that they've got. They've just taken around. They've done the World Supercross. They came over and did the British Arena Cross. They've gone to France. They've done all this stuff. Now, as a company, they're stepping back and doing what every other manufacturer is doing and dividing out the factory team to different countries. So obviously now England being allowed to race the British Championship and the Arena Cross, St. Blaise are like, they've supplied the factory bikes, the factory parts and a bit of a budget to them. And they're going racing in England, and they'll be the same. I believe in France, they've got a team over there, and obviously the Spanish one, and the main factory stock will be doing the World Supercross because that's their main focus at the moment. So it's like a shell company off the side of factory stock. They've just like divvying out bits so they're not spending all the money going from Spain and back every time, because they said it was a massive cost, and it was something they had to do at first to get recognised, because at the beginning nobody wanted to take the responsibility of it because they didn't know how it was going to go. So yeah, no, St. Blasey is going to be running the team, but yeah, we've got the factory bikes, factory parts, and yeah, and then me and Louis get to ride them.
Exciting, yeah. So Louis obviously did very well at Arena Cross, and he did my EXGB festival a couple of years ago and won that
Okay.
on the start. That was the first time we had I think Moto 101 supported us and brought all their Starks over to Greenfield, and Louis had his own, and Louis was unreal on it, to be fair. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, he's never really done any motocross racing before. He's only done, I think it's like 7 races in the total, and those are all Arena Cross races. But man, if anyone who's watched him ride knows the kid has got talent coming out of his ear holes. It is crazy to watch him ride a bike, and it's absolutely effortless. And he's a really nice kid too. I don't know if you spoke to him or whatever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy.
And I think we're both on opposite ends of the scale at the minute as well. He's only 18. He's just starting. He's just getting into it. I'm 35. I'm at the end of my career. I've got all this wisdom and knowledge that I've gathered over the years of racing, and hopefully I can feed some into him and help him, his trajectory go up a bit quicker, because, being 18 and starting this thing it's not an easy task, but he's got the talent, that's for sure, and the speed. So if I can help him in any way, that makes me smile too.
Cool, and you can help him on his golf swing as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on mine, to be honest, man. I've only been open a week, but I am drastically improving, so that's the main thing.
Cool, you can give it a plug.
Yeah. This is the Shack Stourbridge, guys. My new golf simulator room. The screens have gone off at the minute, but yeah, come and check us out, man. The shackstourbridge.co.uk.
Yeah.
All your entertainment needs.
Excellent. Yes, Stephen Clarke, super busy. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us on the show. Wish you the best of luck this weekend and throughout the year. Look forward to seeing you around tracks all over the country. Try and sign him up for as many different championships as we can.
Yeah.
I can't bear the thought of you being quiet, mate. I can't bear the thought of you putting your feet up.
No, there's no point. Well, I'll sleep when I'm dead one day. So I'm going to make the most of it while I'm here. I'm going to keep it going.
Awesome. Superb. Well, thanks for joining us, bud. And we look forward to catching you throughout the season.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there. If anyone wants to come and have a talk about the Starks, send them down. I'm happy to show you everything about it that we know. And hopefully we can put in some good races throughout the year. Yeah, like I said, the first 2 are going to be just a test. We don't know how we're going to get on, so I don't want to put any expectations on that. But we're gunning for like round 3. Round 3 is Landrake, I believe. So we, that's where we're going to come in hot. Me and Louis. Hopefully, I can show the little kid who's boss still. But he'll be good. So yeah, thanks for having me on, man. And I'll see you there. See you around this year.
Okay, so yeah, thanks to Stephen for joining us on that one. So yeah, going to be very fascinating to see how he gets on all through the year on that machine. But first, let's talk about we've spoken about Ben Conrad and Oriol, probably the favourites for the podium, we would probably say. But there's 2 riders who are going to have an opinion about that as well. Of course, yeah, Adam Sterry and the Chambers Racing KTM looking fantastic. Got to say, all the pre-season photos and the Troy Designs kit, I'm really looking forward to seeing that on track. It's a good look, and looking forward to seeing how that goes. You've got Josh Gilbert, guest on the show, of course. We know Hawkstone's not his favourite, but hopefully he can bury that and have a good one as well. And there's a whole stack of other riders chasing them down, including Tristan, who we've just spoken to. So yeah, from that side there, Paul, I mean, where do you see Josh and Adam, where do you see their hopes of trying to break this new triumvirate at the top?
It's going to be difficult, isn't it? I'd like to think that they can do it, but we saw it last year with Conrad. I suppose the question mark is with Ben Watson, on the Triumph. If it is going to be, a nice match fit, I'm sure it will be, but you never know, because if you go back to Joel Rizzi's sort of 450 year on the Triumph, it did not go to plan. Now, whether that was bike or ride or a mixture of both, I don't know. I can't imagine that being an issue another year down the line. I think the Dirt Store Triumph team know too much, are too. I think they just got too much of a great team setup. And the other thing is Ben is used to working with a team to develop a bike. We've seen it at Beta as well. So I can't see it being an issue. But if it is, maybe they just take a couple of rounds of bedding in. Although, Ben has already ridden a pre-season race event. His second moto was really strong as well. So, yeah, I suppose it's whether Adam and Josh can sort of come in early. The same with Oriel as well. Oriel wouldn't have rode Hawkstone last year because he joined, was that right? Because he joined the Gabriel SSS 2014 sort of mid-season. I think he missed the first couple of rounds. So
yeah, Canada Heights was his first one. So yeah.
And we saw last year Adam Sterry was really good there. So maybe, we spoke to Josh and he's not that, Hawkstone is not his track. But I'd say it is Adam Sterry's track. So going into this weekend, I could probably see Adam Sterry on that podium, even possibly, maybe not winning, but I could possibly see him getting second overall this weekend. I think he could be the one. I don't know. I think there's a quiet confidence about Sterry this year that I think if there's out of him and Josh is always going to be there and thereabouts, and we know he's good at RPAC. But I just get a feeling with Adam Sterry this year that I don't know. I just feel he might just elevate just a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, when Adam raced with Ben last year, I remember a few times, especially at Lockett, that Adam and Ben actually had a proper good scrap in the mid pack. So, I don't think they're as far apart on pace as we might think. And yeah, I mean, Hawkstone, going back to Hawkstone last year, I mean, Adam very nearly toppled Conrad at that event. I mean, Conrad got ahead of steam on. I mean, Adam definitely got the starts both times. Conrad built up a head of steam, catching him. But with a little bit more competition in the pack, the likes of Ben and Oriol coming in, is Conrad going to be able to get that same sort of steamroller momentum that just makes him unstoppable, where he just goes faster and faster? Is he going to get messed up by these other riders instead of being able to carry that through? That's the question mark there for me. But yeah, I think, like you say, the quiet confidence is a very good line. You're getting good at this, Paul. I think that's definitely a good line on that one, because yeah, Adam is one that he could shock everybody. So yeah, who knows? That might come out in our predictions.
And I think what you say is the depth as well. We've hammered on that one in terms of MXGP and the World Championship, the depth of that. I think the depth now of MX1 is definitely deeper too. So the next batch of riders, which means that, if someone does get a bad start, it's going to be harder. And especially if Conrad doesn't make, we've seen him get some not great starts and have to work through and try and reel everybody in. But the depth, so we got Tristan Purdon, who was a guest earlier. We've got Taylor Hamill. Taylor was getting closer and closer and closer to the top riders all the way through. A solid winter for him. Back with the same team, some nice stability for Taylor. Got Jamie Carpenter on the Crendon True 7 Honda again, although he's coming back from injury, but he's back on the same bike. We've seen the likes of Ben Edwards starting to emerge as well. We saw how well he did in the Scottish. So I'm going to reel off sort of my next batch of riders here. Bobby Bruce, some solid results in Scotland then, and I think it will take him a little bit longer. He was off the bike for a little bit. He's coming into his own with his own team set up. You can't forget Brad Todd is in the entry list now. So Brad Todd we were thinking he was going to be on a two-stroke in MX2, looking like now that he is on a 450 in MX1. So Brad Todd is going to be right up there. We know Brad is a tough cookie. Louis Kessel had some great rides last year, really did come into the fore. Tom Grimshaw then, your trainer. Tom, I think he's coming into it fit this year. Last year, don't forget, he started the season with an injury. I think he might have even missed Hawkstone. So you've got quite a batch of riders.
Yeah.
Then down to, sort of, if you take the top five to say they're going to be the top five, but you've got down to probably 5th to 13, 14 that are not going to be easy riders to pass if these guys, the front runners make a bad pass. And all of these riders are more than capable of top fives or possibly podiums on a good day. Extending that batch of riders, you've got the likes of Carlton Husband in there, plenty of experience riding that Phoenix Tools Fantic. You've got Dan Fornell in there that's starting to become a bit of a sound expert now, riding in the Beach Race Championships. Eddie J. Wade, who we saw come good towards the end in MX2 as well. Looks like he's riding a privateer Triumph as well. So another few riders in there that could cause a stir, could get in amongst it. If they make good starts, we know that they've got good pace. So, yeah, I'd say, we are a lot deeper in MX1 than we've been for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a real stack of talent. Also add to that list there, Freddie Bartlett, who had a good. He won there at Seven Valley. Apparently, I've heard he was very fast, ahead of the likes of Joe Brooks and Ben Musto. So yeah, from that side, and Dan Thornhill as well. So yeah, Freddie Bartlett could come as a surprise on what is his MX1 debut. Also interesting to see there a couple of riders that have been on MX2 bikes before. Mackenzie Marshall. He's been going well on the Triumph, AMCA champion, of course. Now going up to MX1. So yeah, a tall rider, young rider, but he could still be pretty strong there. Charlie Cole, he's long, should have been on a 450 for me, and yeah, now I think with a bit of continuity, he could be a real threat on that 772 ride Kawasaki. So Jason Mira in the mix on a Yamaha as well. We just hope that his health problems are behind him. So yeah, for his own sake there. And Louis Brooks, the second of the start riders, won the AX Pro-Am Championship, looked very, very good doing it. And yeah, now he takes the start outdoors. So be very interesting to see what can be made from him. So it's, like you say, it is stacked. We always say it, but it really is. There's lots of people in there to pay attention to. And Beta Sutting, another one, Eastern Centre stalwart there on a Triumph now up to the 450. So quite a few of the TF 450s going into this class. Travis Steele's on the gas. Yeah, there's a real good mix, and it's good to see the Triumphs. I think they're going to have a few of the black bikes in there, which is always good to see.
Yeah, and on the electric one, our guest as well, Stephen Clarke, teammates with Louis Brooks. I'd be interested to see how Stephen Clarke does. Everyone talks about the starts from the start, and Tristan said how important starts are going to be. So, Stephen Clarke obviously got a lot of speed, as we know, in the past. Can that starts, that was hard enough, it's going to be. Can the starts be what, propels him then up there? A couple of riders, a couple of rookies to the class I've got here to mention them. Rafe Broadley, then stepping up. Did a little interview with him a few weeks back. And Reece Jones, another rider who did a little interview, who had a torrid year start to the year last year, but came good towards the end, at Western and things like that. So Reece Jones, I think, is a rider that could I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a couple of top tens early doors.
Interesting. You got both the Putnams in there, Sid and Charlie, both racing MX1 there this year at least. Josh Greedy. So yeah, another one who's been very good in the arena cross races. So good to see Josh take on the British Championship round, at least for Hawkstone. I mean, whether it should be quite local to him coming across from Wales, but yeah, hopefully you will see a bit more of him this year. And yeah, Rafe Broadley's an interesting one, not on a two-stroke, which seems to have been his thing of recent years. Worth mentioning as well, if you haven't there, I'm not sure if I missed it there, but Jaden Ashwell is going to take on a few of the MXGPs, including South Africa, because that is literally his local race. So yeah, from that side, it's going to be great to see what Jaden is capable of as well, because he will be trying to build up some pace. That team wants to do a lot of MXGP work this year, so it'd be good to see what Jaden can do.
Yeah, that's it. He did the AMCA Championship previously as well. I think he did some service rounds too. So yeah, he could well be a rider in the mix. Then why not? He could well be hunting out a Motocross of Nations spot as well.
Okay then, Paul. So yeah, time for our predictions then. So MX1, another plate of pizza is on the line here. So yeah, MX1, 5th place. I'm going to go with Tristan Purdon.
Interesting. Yeah. 5th, and I know he said he doesn't like Hawkstone, but I still think he's gonna do enough to get in the top 5. So I'm going Josh Gilbert.
Yeah, fair comment. This one might shock you.
Okay.
4th, I'm going to put Ben Watson.
4th. Wow. That is interesting. That is quite shocking. I think you shocked the world with that one. Okay. Ben Watson, 4th. Okay. I've gone Aurel Oliver, and I just think he might well win a race. He might lead a race, but I think the Hawkstone experience, I think, will win out in the end for the other riders.
Okay. 3rd, I've gone Adam Sterry.
Okay. I've matched you with that. I've got Adam Sterry 3rd too.
Yeah. Okay. So that means 2nd, I've gone Aurel Oliver. I don't think he has issues with new tracks. He got a bit roughed up in Canada Heights, but also he's stepped up a level, I think, and getting a podium, getting a good result out in Sardinia, I think shows that he's got good quality in sand as well. So yeah, that's why I've got Aurel 2nd.
Okay. Well, I've gone Ben Watson 2nd. I could see him winning Moto 1, but I could also see him, it's a difficult one because you could also see him getting a 4th. It's so much unknown to it, isn't it? But I do think he's going to have 2 good motos, enough to get him 2nd overall.
Yeah, I think with Ben, I think my question mark is the starts, and also just that sort of that habit of winning that he's not in, I feel. So yeah, as always with all these things, we might be completely blown up the wrong tree, but I just feel that yeah, I think he's the sort of character that I think will take it a little bit more cautiously than perhaps will be necessary. I think he would need to push it a lot more to beat the one that we both picked for the winner.
Do you think?
Which is obviously Brad Todd.
Do you think Ben's going to be surprised by the
speed? Got to put that there.
Yeah, you haven't given your Brad Todd plug in this episode. You haven't given him enough plugs in this episode. To be fair, let's be fair.
No.
He's had plugs in every episode because we thought he was going to ride in the 250s. Now he's changed to MX1. Next, he's going to be he's going to tell us he's riding a 125, so we can get in the 125 preview show.
Yeah,
he's shedding off the years.
Yeah, friend of the show. But yeah, he gets enough exposure from Dirt Hub now. But yeah, I mean, Conrad Muse. I just think around Hawkstone, he's a little bit special, and I think he's the bit between his teeth to show that this is my patch. This is for him. This is his patch, and he's going to defend it. And I honestly can't see anyone matching his speed, even with the addition of 2 solid Grand Prix riders like Ben and Aurel. I think Conrad is too determined to defend his title. So that's what I feel I'm going to go with. I hope he runs number 1, but I'm pretty sure he's going to run with his 426 because that's all I've seen in practice shots. So yeah.
And we've seen Conrad when he rides in the UK, because we saw at the Motocross of Nations. It's just like you said, it's like, I'm in the UK, I'm the Don. Do you know what I mean? Even when Jeffrey Herlings rocks up, like you still feel that Conrad feels he should win because he's in the UK.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, even when he raced the Nations at Matterley, pulled out an amazing ride, come from way down in the pack to finish sixth, really showed what he's capable of. I think I'll probably bang on too much about possibly how good he could be, because he won't answer my emails when I ask him to join this podcast. But I mean, it's just I think he's just got too much speed around Hawkstone Park, and it's as simple as that. Ultimately, that's all it comes down to is sheer pace and the stamina to stay there. And I think with Conrad, that's what he's got around Hawkstone Park, bad start or not.
Yeah, time it out. It's going to be interesting. Definitely an intriguing MX1 battle ahead of us.
So
And
for our predictions, then we're all hinging on what happens with Ben and Oriol.
I think it really is. Although you've got Tristan Purdon in fifth, and I've got Josh Gilbert, so we have got a different fifth place rider.
Yeah, I mean, I could even see Bobby Bruce popping a surprise. He's one there with no attention on him. He's very good at Hawkstone Park. Let's not forget he won his first British Championship race there in the MX2 class. So yeah, but on a 450, that's a different kettle of fish. So we'll see. But yeah, I just thought for me, he's on the show, and he just won in that crazy rough Scottish track. So yeah, if he's one in Tane, then he's going to be good in the sand. So that's why I put Tristan in there.
I've got a little interview with Bobby Bruce to put up a little bit later as well. So people will be able to see that on there to see his thoughts on the season ahead as well. And come at Hawkstone Park. There we go. Predictions, mate. We've laid it all out now. MX2's done. MX1, the 125s, 3 long shows. We'll be back next week as well. But yeah, Hawkstone Park this weekend. You can obviously be there in person and see it. See that. I think there's going to be a really big crowd. I think a lot of people, like you said earlier, are starved because they missed the Hawkstone International. So yeah, this is people's chance to get to that famous venue and watch the top riders in the UK and some of the top riders, in the world, really. You've got to say that Conrad Mewse, Ben Watson and Oriol Oliver, if you put all the MXGP riders together, these guys are more than capable of being top 20 in the world.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, to everybody that's listening here, get down there to Hawkstone Park. It's going to be fantastic. I'm hyped. I can't wait. I'm going to be testing the microphone's capacity for noise, I expect. But we'll give it some and go from there. So can't wait. Going to be an amazing season. Thanks so much to everybody for listening. And this has been another Dirt Hub podcast. We will see you next week. We've got a good guest lined up. I'm not going to say that so yet, but in case it falls on its backside, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a very good guest next week. So yeah, come and join us then. And thanks for listening, and see you next time. See you out there.